How y'all doing, people? I'm reading chapter from Matthew chapter 24. And I want to talk about right and wrong situations and how you could be right and sometimes be wrong, and at times sometimes you just got to be right at situations like this. So I'm going to read from chapter 24 from Matthew, all right? And it talks about Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to screw him the building of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verify, I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So what that's basically talking about, y'all, is that when you doing right from wrong, and saying like in general wise, like you do right from wrong and you know not to steal, and you have a guilty conscience in your system, and you say like, do you think it's right to steal or whatnot, because you know you're going to get caught? You get what I'm saying? So after a while, that's what it's saying right here, coming from verse 2. And Jesus says unto them, you see ye not all these things? Verify, I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon one another, and shall not be thrown down. But then it goes from here down to where it talks about in verse 6, saying that, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be families and pestilence and earthquakes and diverse places. And like I said, it's about saying right or wrong situations. Like when you doing something right and you know that you're supposed to be doing something right, like you should want to be on the right path and going that same route. You shouldn't want to do wrong at times like this. And at times it's like God is going to put you in that same direction. If you shouldn't want to go left or right or backwards. You get what I'm saying? So at times like this, it's like you know right from wrong, as people today, they know right from wrong in situations like this. You should know what to do and what not to do, and you should know the commandments at times like this too, because it says not to steal, not to do adultery and whatnot. And you see and like I said, I see a lot of people out here doing adultery and stuff like that, when doing crimes and everything like that, shooting people up and everything like that, and you wondering why you going to jail at times like this, and you're trying to figure out why you not doing right and why you in jail, is because you're behind bars and you know that you did wrong, and you wondering why you not in the community, is because everything is going wrong and everywhere you go. So it's like when you want to do right, you got to do right, and you got to stay with God at times like this, because it's very hard to know what's right and wrong. Everybody is stealing and want to kill everybody, and wondering why things is not going right. You understand what I'm saying? And at times like this, it's very hard to know what's right from wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong, but when you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. So at times like this, you got to figure out what path you're going on. You can't go left and go right. You got to go right to go right and go on that side and whatnot, and stay with God, because at times you don't know what the devil might do to you, and because the devil like to take souls right now. You get what I'm saying? And at times like this, it's very hard to understand the truth, because the devil know when to play with you, and it's a battle in your head right now, and it's telling you to go left or right. So when you want to go right, you gotta go right and stay on that right side with God. At the end of the day, there is no problem doing what you're supposed to do, and right is right, wrong is wrong. But at times like this, y'all, when this Bible is so true, is because at times like this, you will never know what you want to do in life, and you got to be able to understand what the Bible is talking about. Right is right and wrong is wrong. But at times like this, you got to know if you're going the right direction or you want to go the wrong direction. And at times like this, it's very hard to follow God at times like this. You get what I'm saying? But you got to understand the value of going the right way and staying on that right side with God. You understand? Wrong is wrong at times like this. When you're doing something wrong, you got a guilty conscience. Guilty conscience is something that you don't want to listen to. You got to want to be able to listen to your heart and follow that, and know what's going on in your soul right now, because the devil understands what that is. You get what I'm saying? But when you have God on your side, you got to have that patience with God and understand that God loves you and he's trying to put you in the right direction. And you got to understand what you want to do in life to understand the truth of value. And I'm stay here on this right here as well, and it talks about and it basically talks about it as well. You understand?
Who opened that juice and why is this leak all in there? This is so damn dumb. Who opened it? Who fixed some juice out of this? Who fixed some juice out of this?
Not me.
Man, look at that refrigerator. It's not nothing frozen. Look. It's all in there. It's all on the thing.
So yeah, like I said, it talks about, like I said,
Yeah, because it's coming off.
when
She put a hole in it, that son of a bitch.
for shall rise false Christ and false prophets, and shall screw great signs and wonders, and so much that if it was there possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So like I said, it also talks about it wrong and right in verse 24, Matthew chapter verse 24 verse 24. It talks about, for there shall be arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall screw great signs and wonders, and so much that if there are possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Therefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. He hold, and he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. I like this chapter right here because it also talks about right is right and wrong is wrong. And like I said, today in today's world right now, they have the opportunity to talk about they don't most today's right now, people don't know what's wrong and wrong, what's right is right, because when you do wrong, you do wrong, and it's just very unusual to do wrong because it's easy. You get what I'm saying? And it's like telling the truth when you sit there and tell a lie, and you want to sit there and tell the truth, and it's so hard for you to tell the truth because you always lie so much. You get what I'm saying? So everything that everybody else is doing, and it talks about it in the Bible as well, when they sit there and they sit there and they say, well, I want to do right. I want to be able to do right and know what's right and whatnot. But see, logically, everybody's sitting here doing wrong is because that's what they know. You get what I'm saying? And you trying to understand the value of if you want to do right or if you want to go on the wrong path or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? But see, it talks about it right here. It talks about it in chapter 24. I just love this chapter, y'all. Like this, it talks about the disciples. So, like I said, when God was on the mountain and God had told, I think it was Peter, he was going to betray him, and he said, no, I'm not going to betray you. And at times, and he kept saying, he said at the table, is one of y'all is gonna betray me, but he ain't say no name. And Peter looked at Jesus and said, God, I'm not gonna betray you. He said, you will never know if you might. He said, but I will never betray you because I love you. But like I said, when he walked and whatnot to pray, and the next day he said, well, this is what's going on, and then the next minute he says, I don't know of this man. So it's logically saying that how you say that you're not going to do something right and you did the opposite, and whatnot, wrong is wrong, and God automatically said that you was going to betray him. You said that you wasn't. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it says in here about the disciples, privately saying, tell us when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thou coming in of the end of the world. But like I said, it talks about right is right and wrong is wrong at the end of the day. And it's like you want to be able to do right, but it's like at times you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do, what to think. You get what I'm saying? Because you're always doing wrong. And like I said, it talks about here in Matthew 23 verse 18, and whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing but whosoever sweareth by the gifts that is upon it, he is guilty. Now, I like that. But like I said, wrong is wrong, right is right. You get what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, God doesn't punish you, but you can sit there and punish yourself all you want. But you gotta know right is right and wrong is wrong. Once you do something wrong, you gotta face the consequences. You get what I'm saying? Because you're going to be guilty. Because you wondering why you doing this wrong and this. You wondering why you doing this and you trying to do right. And you always trying to figure out what to do to benefit yourself from doing the wrong thing. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, partake. At times like this, you gotta figure out if you want to do right by people, because people, I understand that people have ways of doing things. You get what I'm saying? People have ugly ways of doing things, and you trying to do right by people, and I know it's hard, cause it's hard for me at times. You see what I'm saying? Because I even try to do good by people, and they see that I'm trying to do good by people, but it's more valuable to me is because people don't see what's inside me. You get what I'm saying? Because I have a calm spirit in myself, and I try to understand people as much as possible. And when I tell you that I want to be able to constantly do right, is because my ability of doing right is giving myself to God. You get what I'm saying? And me personally, sometimes it is hard because I'm not always thinking a lot, and I don't want to do wrong. So I try to do right as much as possible. You weigh the good over the bad and whatnot. I like the good and the bad about myself. You get what I'm saying? But I try to weigh the good more than I do bad. You get what I'm saying? And by me reading the Bible and understanding the Bible, you get what I'm saying? So it's like, and my value of doing right is giving myself to God and understanding what God is trying to tell me. You get what I'm saying? So I just feel like everybody should want to do right. Not just do right to get over on people. Do right because God wants you to do right. Don't do right because you see somebody else doing right. Do right because God wants you to do right. You only got to answer to God and nobody else. At times like this, when you see something wrong, you try to escalate it and try to make it right. You get what I'm saying? You got to expose yourself to other people's situations, even though you don't want to do that. But you got to learn to expose yourself and understand the truth that everybody's going to need some help. Is because everybody can't be on the right narrow of doing what they want. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody's always doing wrong, and knowing that wrong is a good thing to do, and it's not. Because it's like, once you do wrong, you got to face the consequences. You get what I'm saying? And God knows what you're doing. God definitely knows what you're doing. And they got to understand that, because at times you trying to figure out if you want to do right, then do right. Do right. Do what you got to do and stay with the Lord, because God will only protect you if you do right by Him. You understand? Do right by Him. Nobody else. You give yourself to God, and you do right by Him. Because because when I was a baby and when I was a kid, I'm telling you this, when I was about 7 years old, I'm gonna put myself out there. When I was about 7 years old, I stole no, not 7, when I was about like, what, 14, 13 years old, I stole from the store, right? Because I wanted a bag of chips, and I was in high school. I was in like middle school, Freddie Douglas Academy, and I went to the store, and I wanted to and I wanted a bag of chips, and I went in the store, and I mean, I wanted it. You get what I'm saying? I was striving for it. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't think of it that I was going to get in trouble. You get what I'm saying? I mean, like, I really stole a bag of chips, like, for real. And I wanted that, and I mean, I saw the man, and he said, "Wait." I said, and I ran out the grocery store with the bag of chips. I ran so fast that I didn't think twice. You get what I'm saying? So when I did wrong, I said, I can't believe it that I did wrong. And I never took the chips back. And I thought about that. I said, wow, that's crazy, man. Me, at an age 14, 13 years old, I stole from the store for the first time. I never, and you know what's so different? You know what's crazy about that? I never stole in my life. I never stole from the store as long as I remember. As long as I remember me being on this earth, I never stole from the store at all. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I took money from my parents before. You get what I'm saying? Because I wanted to go on a trip or whatever, whatnot. But I mean from actually taking stuff from the store and actually running with it. I mean, like, I stole so many times from people. I stole from my adopted mom, and it didn't make sense. And I was trying to do right. Like, it didn't make any sense for me. I took everything. I wanted stuff for myself. You get what I'm saying? And I knew it wasn't right. And I actually learned not to steal again. Is because as I got older, I could still remember it like it was yesterday. Like, I stole from people. You get what I'm saying? And I was trying to make it right. And I understand that most people didn't want to talk to me. But it wasn't just me that was wanted to do right by people. I wanted to do right because that's what God wanted me to do. You understand? And when I tell you that I stole from people, like, I ain't like really stole from people. I actually like took stuff from people. Cause you can't really say that you stole something and then not give it back. You get what I'm saying? I mean, when I was like 7, like when I was about 13 years old, I took it. Cause I thought taking was the best thing for me to do, was take from people. You get what I'm saying? And not return it back. So as I got older, I learned not to take no more. And I started to believe that everything would be all right with me. You understand? And when I tell you my life wasn't perfect, cause it's not. You get what I'm saying? And as I learned from doing all of this, I learned to give myself to God. You understand? It was a lot going on with me that most people didn't understand. And as I got older, I understood it. Like, you can't steal and think that you're not going to get any consequences from out here in the world. You get what I'm saying? Because once you do something wrong, it's either you're going to get consequences, or you're going to go to jail, or you're going to be dead. You get what I'm saying? And most people shouldn't be able to do that, because it's hard to value yourself when you want to give yourself to God. And only God knows what's going on with you. You get what I'm saying? But like I said though, less about me, more about the Bible. You understand? But like I said, it talks about it talks about it talks about it right here in this verse. And it's like, for some complete reason, right, like I said, right is right, wrong is wrong. It said, and I like this verse 30, verse 34. Therefore, behold, I send unto the prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall be sponged unto your sarcophagus, and persecute them from city to city. Well, with that's being said of is I like this verse. Well, like I was saying, right is right, wrong is wrong. God is going to persecute you. You get what I'm saying? Like, when you do something wrong, he's going to give you consequences, and if you keep doing something wrong, he's going to prosecute you, and it's not going to be nice coming from him. You get what I'm saying? Then you're going to have to wonder why you're in jail for so long, because you done did wrong. You can't do right and then do wrong after the fact. You got to do right to do right, because once you do wrong, it's done. You get what I'm saying? And I like how it's written right here. Persecute them from city to city. Like I said about today's world, God knows what's going on. You get what I'm saying? He knows what's going on. And if you can't get something right, that's up to you. Because God is going to forgive you. He's not going to forsake you. He's not going to punish you. You get what I'm saying? You have to repent, and you're going to feel guilty about what you did. You get what I'm saying? And it's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be very hard to understand that. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, it goes back to chapter 24, when it talks about the disciples and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to screw him the building of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verify, I say unto you, verify. That word verify, it means action. So when I say verify, when I say that, it means action, okay? And Jesus says unto them, see ye not all these things? Action, I say, these things. Verify, I say unto you. Verify, it means action, okay? So you gotta watch your actions and what you do in life. You get what I'm saying? And your actions will get you in trouble. Anything that you do in this world, your actions will get you in trouble. You get what I'm saying? Verify, that's what verify is. Verify means actions. You got to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then when you do it, you got to understand why you did it, because your actions is going to get you in trouble. You understand what I'm saying? Wrong is wrong, right is right. You got to understand that. Wrong is wrong, right is right, y'all. Understand that. Get what I'm saying? Actions is the key to everything that you do in life. If you still, you got to do consequences. You got to know what you're doing, because you can't do something wrong and then think that you're doing something right when you done already done it. You get what I'm saying? Actions, y'all. Verify. Actions, y'all. That's what that word means. Verify. It means actions, y'all. Verify, it means actions, y'all. Actions. You gotta understand that. Your actions is gonna get you in trouble. Verify. That's what that word means. You get what I'm saying? In this kind of context, it means action, y'all. You understand? You gotta understand that. Verify. Verify means actions, y'all. Action. You gotta know what that means. Because once you do something wrong, in your mind, and you think that is right, is wrong. Your conscience is going to get you in trouble. The conscience in your head is going to get you in trouble. You got to know what's right, and what's right is right and wrong is wrong, y'all. You understand? And that's my message for today. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Verify is the action, is a word that you gotta understand. Verify means action, y'all. All right, but that's my message for today. Right is right, wrong is wrong. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.